So once again, my name is Caleb Quay, and I'm the subject of the film called A Voice Louder Than Rock and Roll. Voice Louder Than Rock, actually, taken from my autobiography, A Voice Louder Than Rock and Roll. And the film is produced and directed by this lady here, Valerie Tucker, whom I shall hand it over to now.
Hi there, I'm Val Tucker, and I am the director and the producer of the documentary A Voice Louder Than Rock, which is based on Caleb's life, like you just said. I guess the quick description is it's a documentary about sex, drugs, rock and roll, and redemption. So it's been quite a journey. So thank you for having us. I appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Stephen Sargent, and I've been making films for about 50 years. It's 50, and they've been corporate documentaries. And about 2012, I found out that down about 20 minutes away from where I live in San Rafael in San Francisco, they were making this ship. Well, they hadn't started making the ship when I found out about it. It was just an open field. There wasn't a tent there or anything. And I started filming in 2012, about the middle of 2012, and here we are in 2016, and they're still building it. In fact, I'm shooting tomorrow. They're putting the planks around the frames that you saw on the film. And I think I'll be shooting for the next 2 years. And after that, the boat will be launched, and Trish and I are planning to go to Tahiti on the boat. So that'll be exciting.
Oh, nice.
People ask me why did you film it in 3D? It's because I'd never done it before, and it was a real challenge, and I had no idea what I was doing, and I thought it would work rather well.
My name is Helena Hoffman. I produced The Fantastic Love of B-Boy and Flower Girl. Unfortunately, my other producer, Charles Breitbutz, and the director, Clemens Roth, couldn't be here today, but they sent all their love from Germany.
It has to go the other way.
Hi, my name is Julie Moran, and next to me is, we co-wrote Miss Beverly Hills Ghost together, so Kemi ran next to me, she also directed it, and we both produced it, so I'm going to pass this over to Kemi and let you know a little more about the project.
Thanks. Well, it's basically about a nerd who's trying to solve a dead socialite's murder by getting in with the rich and famous of Beverly Hills. So it's a web series for teenagers, and we have a lot of the cast with us today. So.
Hi, I'm Lucy Davis. I wrote and created The Family Lamp, and they are all friends of mine and people I paid. And my director, Jack Perez, was meant to be here, but he couldn't today, sadly. And it's just I wrote a 22-minute pilot, and then just made a little series of scenes from the pilot, just to sort of show my the look and voice that I intended. And it's just really about a family and friends who are all as mad as a box of frogs.
Hi, I'm Ace Hammond. I worked on the Hello World video for Light Beating with Drones.
Hi, I'm Gary. I'm the director for Aiden. My name is Joe Toronto. I was the producer of Super Sex. The last one.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Okay, so we'll get some questions from the audience, but first I have a few questions. I wanted to know what drew you to the subject matter. what made you tell this story? You can start, yeah.
Okay.
Whoever wants to jump in.
What drew me, what, you know, that'd be a
Well,
question.
well,
for
actually,
Yeah, sure.
okay. Actually, what drew me to the story was, I actually manage Caleb's band. So Caleb came with a book, and it became one of those things where it's like, okay, what do we do with this book? So since I actually have the living, breathing replica here, it was decided that we'd partake and do a documentary. So, you know, this has been like 4 years in the making. You know, it's been a project. But it's great because historically, you know, you have a music story, and most music documentaries don't tell a story. You know, I mean, it'd be easy for me to go grab a bunch of cameras, go follow his band on tour, but Caleb's history is so rich, going back to his father being a jazz musician, and him playing with Elton, Hall & Oates. Caleb has played on probably every song that you've probably ever imagined, starting with the lime in the coconut and all of that. That's him. So for me, the subject matter was very rich. And my background is as a television news producer, editor, and I had done a series, a Black History series. So telling stories is my forte. And this was a story I felt needed to be told, should be told, and just by all of the historical people that he's played with. You know, Clapton, The Who. So it just worked out that way. So for me, easy as pie.
Yeah, you definitely told a remarkable one.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you. Okay, can anybody else or wants to jump in?
How's this working?
We're all tangled up. I'll be quick. What you saw tonight was a 17-minute extract from a 90-minute film. And in the 90-minute video, you meet the characters, you meet the builders, and they're volunteers. They're ex-car salesmen, would you believe, computer scientists who've retired. Most of the people I filmed are in their 60s, some of them in their 70s. Some of them actually, while I was filming, died on the job. Well, not actually while they were doing but you know, I'd come back and I'd say, "Where's Ed?" "Oh, he died yesterday." So, there are a lot of old people building this ship, and it's relying on donations. They had little donations and big donations. They had one guy who donated $1 million, which is amazing. The ship would cost about $6 million all told. And what am I saying? What I'm saying is I actually finished this 90-minute film when they put the transom on, which is the back of the ship. And that's part one, and we're going to throw that away. And then I'm going to make another film where we actually start with the trees being chopped down, which I filmed, and then the ship sailing away to Tahiti. And hopefully that will be 2018 or 19. The sailing away to Tahiti may be 2020.
Well, our short is actually only the 8 minutes that you saw. And we wanted to tell a story about two outsiders. That those are a little quirky, a little weird, as we all are when we fall in love. And we wanted to show those little crazinesses by Elsa building those flowers and Peter imagining being followed by killer bees. But what we wanted to show is that if you fall in love with someone, everyone has to make compromises and go towards each other. And yeah, maybe sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. And I'm really happy it worked for Peter and Elsa.
Yeah.
What you saw was a pilot on our series, which actually is a web series that has that was season 1 that we've just filmed, which will be several episodes. And actually, the conclusion of that you saw was a comedy mystery. At the end of season 1, we will find out what happened to Missy, or the ghost. As far as inspiration, partly autobiographical, not that we're plagued by ghosts, but more or less our backstory. So I'm going to, again, pass to Kemi, who co-wrote it with me, but tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Give it back to you.
Julie and I are a mother and daughter team, so we moved out as a family from New York to Los Angeles when I was a teenager, and I remember going through that culture shock just like our lead character does. So I think that was one of the main inspirations for us, but we also have experienced some weirdness in a couple of our houses with some ghosts. So we had some fun combining those two genres of high school comedy and supernatural mystery.
So we were basically just looking to find an interesting way to showcase some of the technology we're working on, some of the precision that we're trying to work towards with drones.
Hello World.
Yep, that's just for Hello World and Asa.
All right, awesome, thanks.
And
They're like, what is he talking about?
right, animated like in the air. So yeah, just trying to find an interesting way to show off and basically have a bar that we would try and get to get to the point where we could actually do that level of precision. So,
When I thought about writing The Family Lamp, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I decided that every character was going to be an aspect of myself. So Dara, the child, is a fantasist. Dreams of, as I did when I was a child, dreams of rescuing people from fires and drowning. And then the grandmother is clairvoyant, so I've had many similar experiences. And the lead, Rhea, is scatty and doesn't really wear makeup and proper clothes, and really the most important thing to her is cake. And Scott Adsit, who played the dad, he's riddled with OCDs, and so every single character all learned a lot about me now. Every single character just is a little aspect of myself, and I love comedy. I love single camera comedy. I love all the people who agreed to be part of it, because they were all amazing. And yeah, that's my little bit.
For Aiden, is pretty much my childhood fantasy of, when you're a little kid, you kind of see staplers on your table as like a spaceship, or you're trying to live out this imaginary world. And I just thought that under kind of a sci-fi drop, if we can have, a child's imagination kind of really come to life and really exist in our world, how cool would it be to really kind of have that contrast between the adult and the innocent mind? So that's pretty much the driving force behind making a short film, Aiden.
So Super Sex is based off of that joke. It's like the famous joke. And Matthew Modine, our director, heard the joke from the great Eli Wallach. Matthew told me the joke. We were like, hey, maybe this could make a cool little short film, kind of build it out. And Matthew wrote a screenplay, got Kevin Nealon and Ed Asner and Elizabeth Perkins to be in it. And that's it, yeah. So that was it.
I want to get some questions from the audience. Does anybody have a question? What's the joke?
Oh, no, like, the girl goes up to the door and it's like, I'm here for Super Sex. I have Super Sex for you. And it's like, I'll take the soup. That's the joke. So like, that's like the whole reveal at the end. But like, we kind of built it out. Obviously, it's like, no one's ever heard that joke. Yeah? Well, it was famous.
Does anybody else have any questions for our filmmakers? Go ahead.
Do you intend on extending Aiden by any chance, or doing something similar in that realm?
Wait, sorry, can you say it again?
Do you intend on extending Aiden or doing something similar in that realm?
Yes, Aiden has always meant to be a feature film, except for we didn't have the resource to make the feature film. So ended up taking the resource that we had to make a short film to use it as a pitch, and right now it is in the process of becoming a feature. So So, knock on wood.
Do we have any other questions? Anybody? Go ahead, sir.
For Valerie. Hi.
Hi there.
Hi. So, it's hard unless you're a certain generation to really appreciate Caleb's skills, his history. Maybe you can tell us a bit about the story, or Caleb can, of the world's greatest guitarist.
Well, Caleb's actually been, thank you. Caleb has been called the world's greatest guitarist by Eric Clapton. Eric, the story is that Eric Clapton was on the David Letterman show. And, you know, he does his set, and you know how Letterman would come out after, you know, come talk to your guests, the whole bit. So he walks up to Clapton and he says, "So, what's it like being the world's greatest guitar player?" To which he turns around and says, "I'm not. A guy named Caleb Quay is." Now, that being said, Caleb, when all this was happening, was, I think, if I remember correctly, you told me you were off in Oregon or something, but Caleb's phone blows up the next day, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, did you hear Clapton? Did you hear Clapton?" What makes Caleb so unique is that he has played with everyone, and if he hasn't played with them, he's been the engineer. What you will find out once you see the film is that Caleb actually got his start as an engineer at Dick James Music. And he was the engineer for the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and all of those, the British invasion acts when he was a teenager. He was like 15 years old. So the history's rich. He was playing on sessions. It's just outlandish. I mean, you will see, we'll bring it from Caleb wanting to be the best guitarist in the world to his peers actually calling him the best guitar player in the world. Did that kind of settle some things?
I should tell
Yeah,
about when there's an interesting thing when Clapton said that with Letterman. That was on a Friday, and the next day I was in Portland, and I was at this friend's house, it was a pastor's house. I was working at his church, and the phone goes, and the phone rings, and my friend goes in the other room, answers the phone, and he comes out to me and he says, "There's somebody from CBS on the phone for you." I'm thinking, I don't know anybody at CBS, you know. So I get the phone, you know, and I said, "Hello?" And there's a gal on the phone, and she says, "Am I speaking to the world's greatest guitar player?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Well, last night Eric Clapton said," and she's told the whole thing, you know. I said, "Wow, that's amazing." And she wanted to know if they could send, because they have an affiliate station up there in Portland, if they could send a news crew over to interview me. I said, "Well, yeah, that'd be fine." I said, "I'm playing at this pizza shop with ministry for children's youth ministry at the church, you know. I'm playing for the youth group, you know." And so they said, "Okay." He said, "Okay, if we send a news team down." I said, "Yeah, sure, go ahead," you know. Gave them the address, and so here we are in the midst of this small town just outside of Portland in this pizza parlor with about 50 kids, and all of a sudden CBS News shows up, you know, and they go, "What's going on? What's going on?" I said, No, let's just keep doing what we're doing and enjoy the pizza. So that was how that happened. It still kind of somewhat troubles me how CBS were able to track me down. In Portland, it's kind of like, you know, NCIS or something like that. You know.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that story. All right, well, I guess we'll just wrap it up and just say thank you. We have another.
Oh, it's wrap up.
No, sorry, we have to clear.
Oh,
sorry.
did I go on too long?
We
I'm
actually,
so sorry.
No, everybody was wonderful. Can we give a round of applause to our